There once was a show some time ago that asked 4 questions every fortnight or so. It became so rare they weren't prepared to have a versatile rhyme. Oh God, I'm scrambling now to get a word that rhymes, so how can I wrap this up? I'll take this mail and go.
Right you are, Phil. We do have a listener question. Now this question comes from my boy, Maloon. Oh, baby. What a legend. He's coming in with these questions.
He is. He's
very grateful for that. Thank you, man.
Top form, Maloon.
It's brilliant. We really appreciate it. So the question is as follows. I'll read it verbatim, just so there's no transparency or anything. Can you 3 or 4, depending on if Lewis was with us, I suppose, which he will be later. Stay tuned. Can we create a top 3 list of Xbox games that we'd like to see come to PlayStation 5? We have to all agree on the 3 games. There can be no disagreements. Has to be a unanimous acceptance. Pit games against each other. Make your passionate speeches for and against games. And then he's listed his own 3 games, which are Ori, Hi-Fi Rush, and Gears of War. And then he said, fight.
Fuck.
So it's time to scrap, lads.
It's like celebrity deathmatch, isn't it? Fight!
Fight! I think the easiest way of doing this, disagree with me on this if you like. I think the easiest way would be we put 1 game in each.
I was going to say that.
And then if 2 of us hate on one person's game, that's gone and we got to find a substitute.
Okay.
Very civil of us. Very civil. If we'd done this while we were drinking, if this was on episode 90, this would go wild.
I don't want Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah, fuck Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush is for nerds.
4 hours later, we're still doing Jaeger bombs. Like, come on, just pick anything.
Any fucking... I don't even care anymore.
Thanks for watching.
Whereas I think this is going to go quite nice.
Yeah, I think we'll get around this quite well. So let's just say, does anyone have a game in mind? Does anyone want to shout out their first game if there's one on top of the dome?
Me.
And I'll do what every teacher does. Phil, why don't you say a game?
Okay. Well, I did have a brief think about this, but it is very difficult purely because I stopped buying Xboxes. I bought a 360 back in the day to play Street Fighter, and we played the majority of Street Fighter 4 using said Xbox 360. And then I went back and, went to CX and bought some of the heavy hitters, and I quite enjoyed those IPs, your Halos and your Gears of War, and I enjoyed that. I bought some wrestling games. I'm a big wrestling fan, so I bought some of the wrestling games on there, and they were quite entertaining back in the day. And then unfortunately, I got kind of suckered into buying the Xbox after that, the Xbox One, I believe it was called, because I got to go to the launch. I was very privileged to go to the launch of the Xbox One, and I bought it on release as part of the job that I was doing at the time, and I instantly regretted it. I think I just played Killer Instinct on it and then binned it, really. It's just sat on my shelf ever since. So it's very hard for me to delve back in to games that I really want to see, come to PS5. So a lot of this will probably be influenced heavily by our friend of the show, Lewis Potato Chief, okay? Now, he loves a little game called Starfield. Now, we've all dunked on it. One of our highest grossing videos, and I mean just in terms of views, was about Starfield. We commented on IGN's rating of the 7 out of 10 game, Starfield. Now, I think if we're bringing games over to PS5, we want to be looking for the heavy hitters of Xbox, the big dicks, the big swinging dicks, right? And I've heard nothing less than this game is absolute perfection from Lewis. He said he was talking about storytelling, and he said it progressed the medium of storytelling. Now, if Lewis is to be believed, and he should be, he's a credible source when it comes to Xbox, they're big players in the game, then Starfield, I think, would be the game to bring over to the PS5 to wow us. Now, I would think there's going to be a little bit of work there. I've seen quite a few complaints about different aspects of Starfield, but the game's been out long enough now where they could fix some of those and really make it shine for PS5. Imagine what could be possible. I'm thinking of No Man's Sky, but Starfield for PS5. So they've had that much development, that much thought, that much effort, that much community backing to make Starfield top notch. Maybe we're getting a 9 out of 10 here, boys, over from Xbox. What do you think? Have I convinced you?
I'm not sure if I'm too convinced. I'd quite like to see it come over, just because I'd like to see what the Xbox fans would say about the game if it was becoming multi-plat. Would they still hold it in such high regard if we had it on the PlayStation? Or would they immediately be like, oh, you're welcome for such a good game, or you can't have your own great games, you need to take ours? I wonder how they'd rebuttal. Would I play Starfield if it came over? Fuck no. I'm so sick of Bethesda and all their exact same game copy-pasted over the years. I mean, it's a game that I think would be good on the system, and a lot of people would enjoy, and a lot of people like Bethesda's games, so I see it happening. But I wouldn't care for it, really, if it came over myself.
Fuck no. No. Like, you think how many great games are across, like, every generation of Xbox, right? And you put fucking Starfield up. Like, the game that didn't even crack the fucking top 10 lists of anybody this year, apart from Potato Chief, like, for last year. No. There's so many better choices. Like, I know it's the low-hanging fruit, right? But if it came over, even if it was on Extra, I could not be fucked. There's so many better games that we could play our time on. And sure, Lewis is there saying it's fucking the best thing since sliced bread. I don't know what fucking bread he's been having, because that's some moldy ass fucking crust if I've ever seen it. No fucking way. We can do better than that, mate.
He's not been going to Greg's, has he? That's where he needs
No,
to
he's
go.
not.
Mate,
No, he's
For
not.
some of that Greg's bread. But I do agree with you guys. You've won me back round. Unfortunately, I don't think Starfield is going to make the list, to give you another Chris Jericho quote there from wrestling, because I'm a big wrestling fan. Obviously, all that will come to fruition in the topic.
So much fucking foreshadowing in there.
Always, mate, yeah.
This is what happens when we do the topic first. You can make jokes about it. It's fun, right? But when it comes to Starfield, I do genuinely believe, though, it might not be our top 3. It might make a top 5 or a top 10. But if it did come over to the PS5, let's give it a little shine. I think it would sit quite well within the PS5. What else have we really got out there that's like this? I think it would hold its own space. There's a few games out there, but there's nothing major. And Starfield is that big name as well.
I think you're right. I think there is definitely a place for it. And I think it wouldn't be out of sorts for it to come over. I think that, it would definitely generate hype. People would definitely buy it. It would sell well. But it's just when you're talking about the competition, like, we think, I've just now, right, because I wasn't sure, I pulled up the Metacritic for Xbox One to see if there was any games on that generation that I missed that were good, right? Outside of Ori, fuck no, there's nothing. There's, like, nothing for that entire generation, right?
Outside of what?
Like, Ori.
Ori, okay.
Outside of that, there was nothing really that I could see that was, like, good.
Yeah.
But then when I think back to, like, Xbox 360 gen, there's fucking so many good diamonds in that gen. And then original Xbox has got some fucking great ones as well. And that's what's going to let it down. I can't see it hanging with, like, some of the fucking classics that I'm sure we're going to pull out. By the way, if somebody brings up Blinks the Time Cat, you're off the fucking show. All right? Off the show.
Don't even know what that is.
Good. It was a game that came out to Xbox originally, right? It was like their platformer. And you had time control powers. And everyone was like, oh, sick. I played it shit. So shit. Like, that is not going in the list. All right? And just putting that out there now. Like, hard veto. That's the top veto I can give. No way. No fucking way.
There we are. That's right. So we'll say for now, we'll say Starfield's in contention for the top 3. If we come up with a game that's better than it, it'll get bumped down.
Okay.
I think we'll do it that way. You were a bit too eager, so I'm going to go next.
Okay.
He was so eager to go started. I'm like, fuck you, I'm going next.
Go on.
My game that I'm putting on the cards, it was the reason I almost bought an Xbox One. It was a game that I was desperate to play. I never got the chance to play it. I played it once over my friend's house and fucking loved it. And although I say there's too many fighting games already, I don't want more. This one I'd fucking get on, and it's Killer Instinct.
Oh, fuck,
I'd fucking love for us to have Killer Instinct. That game is sick. That's it. I don't think I need to say more.
I fucking agree with you.
Yeah.
The game's great. You and me played the fuck out of that, didn't we? Phil, at different events.
Combo Breaker! That game was sick, man. And I think it's a slam dunk for us, isn't it? Purely because it's a fighting game, right? And unfortunately, we can't play it. It's on an Xbox One that sits up there. And that was the only reason I really had that, was to play Killer Instinct. But I loved Killer Instinct, and it's a very visually stunning game. It was a showpiece for Xbox One when that came out because people were wowed by the graphics. I remember watching, I think I was working in a development studio, and we had a lot of free time in between projects, and I remember watching a lot of Maximilian Dude's combo videos because it's just so exciting to watch, you know, and the characters were coming at a good pace with Killer Instinct. There was character after character after, and they were all, you know, their own thing. They weren't really carbon copies. Okay, you had some dark versions of characters within the game later on, but there were so many interesting characters within that game that I haven't really seen replicated throughout the FGC since. So yeah, it's a straight yes for me.
Yep. There it is. It's in a unanimous 3-way.
I knew it would be.
Great choice.
Sick game.
Great choice. All right, our first one on the list. My choice, guys, the reason why I'm so hyped for this is I want the Halo Master Chief Collection. What do you mean, What the fuck? You get Halo 1, 2, and 3? With online multiplayer that works? Dude, Halo 2 slaps tits. Full co-op campaign with trophies for Halo 1, 2, and 3. Do you know how fucking fun that would be? Oh, man, I played so many hours of Halo 1, 2, and 3 back in the day. Like, my first proper online experience was Halo 2. I played it with, like, one of my best mates, Brett. I've played it with, like, loads of different people. I went to LAN events that were hosted in Chepstow, and we had, like, there was TVs everywhere around the house, and everyone was playing Halo 2. And it was the first time I'd ever done that kind of thing before to that scale. Like, I'd done smaller events where, like, I'd bring my TV around to Phil's or whatever, but this was, like, loads of people in a room all playing in just a LAN lobby of Halo 2. And it was just like a fucking it was just like that moment where you realize what gaming was going to be. Like, this was going to be the future of online play. And Halo slaps as much then as it does now. It's fucking timeless. And those 3 games are fucking perfect shooters. It's so good.
That was your Half-Life moment, wasn't it? That was your moment where you understood what gaming could possibly be when you connect computers or consoles together. Because mine was playing Counter-Strike and Team Fortress Classic in the Technodrome in Caldecott, which was just an empty shop which they put about 8 monitors in. And I remember going in there and losing my shit that I could type to someone. And yeah, you can imagine what I was typing to my friend who was sat on the computer next to me and didn't understand how to type. I was one step ahead of him. But that was your moment when you were at, what was it called? Dexbox, I think it was called back in the day. Shout out Ash Dex. Yeah, shout out Ash Dex. I know he listens to the show. And I remember you talking very, very highly of the Halo franchise after that. And I think, Spencer, you got a bit of a frown on because we're suggesting an old game. And I know what you like when it comes to old games. You know, we talk about Metal Gear Solid all the time, and you find that a difficult game to, I suppose, play these days. And a lot of, I suppose, younger people do that, don't they? They look at older games as almost being inferior. But I've got to agree with you on this one, Davey. You know, to bring Halo, a legendary Xbox game, to PlayStation would be a big scalp for us, and it would be an incredible experience to be able to play that, especially if they did some sort of even further remaster of those games for PlayStation, even upscaled it so we had the full PlayStation experience. What you're talking about with trophies, all that, you know, stuff that we get with the handset, with the haptic feedback, and just if we PlayStationed it, it would be an immense experience. I would say yes on this one, Spence. I don't know if I've convinced you.
I'll tell you what, it's not the reasons you say at all, Phil. I've played Halo to death.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I played it absolutely to death. It's just not a series I want to revisit. That's the only reason I don't want it, personally. I can see it making the list because they're phenomenal games. But Halo 3, Halo ODST, and Halo Reach specifically, I played to fuck. Like, it was my first online experience was Halo 3.
Oh wow.
And then I played the other Halos, Halo 1 and 2. I played ODST, I played Reach to death. Finish school, get home, play it until I go to bed every day. That's why I'm just done with Halo. I'm done with that floaty fucking jump and getting meleeed off a map, seeing your body ping all the way across. It's funny, it's great fun. I'm sure we'd have great times playing it, but we've got new experiences now. It is kind of the thing of it is an old game, and as much as it would sell gangbusters, I would probably buy it. I think we could get better, or at least not better, different. Just I've played so much of it.
Oh, I can't imagine having the top 3 and Halo not being there.
Yeah,
You know, it would be like Xbox saying, "What 3 games would you bring to PlayStation? What 3 PlayStation games would you bring to Xbox?" And then not having like God of War or Last of Us. You
Yeah.
know, it's
They
like
would definitely leave out The Last of Us. You know what?
yeah, it's not a chance.
They're so negative Nellies when it comes to The Last of Us. Of course, they would specifically leave out Last of Us 2.
yeah, you're probably right on that one. But so I mean, where are we sitting with this one?
I think
2
it's
out of 3.
second on the list. Yeah, I think it makes the list.
Okay,
It's just for me it's played to death.
okay.
That's all it is. But it's still
Well,
brilliant.
it
games.
makes the list unless we can find a better one that we all agree on.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Fair enough. It's on the list at the moment then. So I suppose
It's back around the
Swing
film
it back
now.
around,
If
Phil.
you have a choice.
Okay, and I think this one is probably quite an obvious one, and it's something that has been rumored for a little while. I know we talked about Hi-Fi Rush and we talked about Sea of Thieves, but out of the two, I would really enjoy, and I think it'd be a perfect game for a Thursday night. Once we get over the Helldivers bump, Mountain, Colossus, I don't know what to call it. It's just going to be a big game for us, isn't it? Us 3 in particular. We're going to play a lot of this game. But once we get over that monolith of a game, having something like Sea of Thieves and the amount of development and years of tweaking, perfection they've got there, it is their best game, I believe, on Xbox at the moment. It would be the game that if I did have an Xbox, I would be playing with the lads. Okay, I've got a PC and I'm sure I could play it as well. But that as an Xbox game, it does look good. Everything I see of it, it does look really good. I am a bit jealous of that one. I would love it to come to PlayStation 5.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think what I'm going to bring to the table, unless you bring it to the table first, Spence, would probably supersede it. But as of right now, that definitely bumps off Starfield for me to make it into the top 3. If we're saying it's KI as number 1 spot at the minute, Halo number 2, and Sea of Thieves, I'd be happy with that sitting there at the minute.
Well, I mean, for me, I played Sea of Thieves to death. I fucking adore Sea of Thieves.
Oh wow! I thought this was gonna go another Halo way.
No. I adore Sea of Thieves, but the only reason I stopped playing it, I was playing it on PC on Game Pass, and there's not actually a reason why I stopped playing it. It just kind of it does get a bit boring. There's not actually a lot to do in Sea of Thieves, especially if you're doing PvE content. If you're doing player versus player, fuck me, it's wild. It's mental. There's people who go out on sloops, which is like the smallest boat, and they just sneak onto people's ships and wait for them to take them somewhere so they get treasure, and then they'll take the treasure on their sloop and fuck off with it. Or just like set fire to the boat from the inside whilst they're off searching for treasure. So they come back and their boat's just gone.
So grim.
It's fucking brilliant, the amount of shit you can do in Sea of Thieves. If you put a banana on a stove, it just sets on fire. It just burns, and then their ship's gone. It is class, the amount of shit you can do. I would love for Sea of Thieves to come over, because I know I'd just start again and play it to death again. Yeah, but that beats Halo for me. That'd be my number 2.
Whoa.
But fair enough if you boys are in disagreement for that. But I think it definitely makes the list.
Okay. It's on there then. It's on there. You got any more you want to bring to the table? I got one.
I don't know. I'm happy with the list as is, actually.
Okay. Well, the last one I'll put up for contention. It's a game I've played before and I loved. Gears. And just like the same, I'd like it to be like the Gears trilogy. So the first 3 games. Don't need everything else just now, but I'm saying like a box like trilogy of the first 3 Gears games. Fucking love to play those. And sure, those are old, right? But the gameplay is so good and the multiplayer is really fucking fun as well. And the games that I was really jealous of being a PS3 owner and not having an Xbox. I don't know why I never bought a 360. I think it's just tribalist mentality. Because these days, if Xbox came out with like Halo kicking ass
Yeah.
and Gears, I'd buy one. Like frame fucking one. And I just never did. I was like, no, I got my PS3. I can.
When you're a kid, the
Play
console war's more important, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that was probably it. But yeah, I'd put Gears. I think Gears deserves to be there personally, but its fate lies with you both.
For me, I'm kind of pitting Gears against Halo because we're talking about a collection, aren't we? And I think out of all the Gears games, I think Gears 5 is probably one of the more prolific of the Gears franchise. You know, that generally gets the higher Metacritic scores to my knowledge. But I do remember playing the original Gears, and I think maybe 2 or 3. Maybe I skipped one. I don't really know. I didn't pay as close attention to Gears as I did Halo. You know, Gears gameplay was chest high walls and blasting big kind of bug monsters, wasn't it? But then Halo had bug monsters and kind of chest high walls as well. But I think Gears wasn't, I don't know, it didn't grab me as much as Halo. I think if I had the choice between the two, because they are fairly similar in my mind, I would prefer to see Halo, the bigger kind of name, come over to PlayStation as opposed to Gears. But I would say that would be a close fourth, I would suppose, and it would knock Starfield down to fifth for me.
Fair enough. For me, I would say the issue is I would rather play Gears than Halo, just because I spent so much time with Halo and I touched maybe a very little bit of Gears. But I think Halo has more longevity. I think if Halo came over instead of Gears, I'd spend more time on Halo than I would on Gears if Gears was out.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I would have to put Halo above Gears as well, and put Gears in my number 4th place. I'd love to play them. I'd love for them to come over, but it wouldn't be any of the 3 above it.
Okay. So with that, then we got our number 1, Killer Instinct.
Yeah, easy.
Number 2,
Easy.
Halo. Number 3, Sea of Thieves. Or are we swapping round?
I would put
I
Sea of
thought
Thieves
Sea
number
of
2.
Thieves was number 2.
I'm not going to cause a
Because
disagreement at this point.
Halo was the older game, right? It was the Master Chief Collection version, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
We're not talking Infinite here. Yeah?
No, yeah, talking Master Chief Collection.
Then I would say, personally, I would have put that third out of those games.
And I agree.
Okay. So, we're saying then that coming in number 1, Killer Instinct.
Easy. 3.
Number 2, Sea of Thieves. Number 3, Halo Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
All in agreement on that.
Agreed.
Done.
There you have it, Maloon. That is our In PS We Trust official games that we would nick from Xbox if we could
Yeah.
list. Listeners,
Easy
if you-
work.
Easy. Smashed it, guys. Well done. Very
Fucking A.
civil of us. Very civil. If you, listener, want to get involved with the show, pose us any questions that you want to hear us rate in a list in a very nice civil discussion with no shouting, no screaming. Very, very nice. Then you know what to do. Write into us on our socials. You can hit us up on Twitter @InPSWeTrust or reach out to us on the email, pswetrust@gmail.com.